Hello again. This is just going to be a short follow-up video on kind of a continuation to the course we finished. And this one will talk about assist.org, which is actually a really neat resource that one of my students I talked to, he pointed this out to me. He mentioned assist.org, showed me it, explained how it worked. But it's a really neat platform for students who are attending California community colleges and are looking to transfer to California State Universities or CSUs. So this actually fits well with the example of being the anthropology major moving over. And for students that that criteria fits within them, meaning they're at a CCC and they want to transfer over, I think this is certainly a great resource that they should try out. So let's run through an example real quick and see how things go. So using the example as earlier, I was a San Joaquin Delta college student majoring in anthropology, looking to graduate to Sac State. And okay, the newest agreement's not available, so let's switch 1 year. View the agreement. And then for here, we can go through our majors. Well, fortunately, anthropology is the first one. Then we browse through the PDF real quick and show some great general information over here about what it takes to graduate and the requirements to have before transferring, during the bachelor's degree, things to get done at Delta, stuff like that. And one thing to notice before continuing, the to side over here is going to pertain to all of the data to the left over here, and then the from side is going to pertain to everything on the right. So to read the course equivalency, which is everything down here that we're looking through, these are all going to be, from Anthro 2 down is going to be all of the Delta classes, and then this side is going to be all of the Sacramento State classes. So Anthro 2, Biological Anthropology, is Anthro 1 in Sac State, Anthro 2L is Anthro 1A, Anthro 1 is Anthro 2, and etc., etc. And then just like in the course videos earlier, Anthro 4 did not have a articulated class offered at San Joaquin Delta College, so if I were going through this degree, that would be a class I would have to take at Sac State. And then same thing here, Math 12 does look a little out of place since it's not an anthro class, but you can take Math 12 to fulfill the ADT agreement, the Associate's Degree for Transfer, that we were looking at on Delta's side. So it makes sense why it has that here, and that's also Stat 1. And notice that statistics at Delta's 4 units versus statistics at Sac State is 3 units. So if this was a class to take required for the degree or a class to fulfill that degree for transfer, depending on how things go, it may be worth it to take it at Sac State because it would be 1 less unit. In theory, maybe cheaper, maybe easier as well, but it also could be more accelerated because you may meet less. But things like that this is another great resource to look through, and things like that are important to consider, is that if there's a class that may be easier, you may want to look through it that way. And then good general information here mentions that you have to complete the Big Four, which is, I'm not sure if that's CSU or UC or if there's any other schools that require this, but basically if you want to come in as a transfer, you have to have at least some units done. For example, you have to have, oral communication, which on Delta side is going to be communications, a written communication class, likely in English 1A, English 1B, things like that. Critical thinking, which I believe would be under the English 1B, English 1D, intro to logic, stuff like that. Quantitative reasoning, which, math above intermediate algebra. So you can definitely take the Math 12 there, or look into a bit further, maybe take a Psych 2 or something like that if you're a Delta student as well. Complete 30 units in general ed coursework, so that's going to be basically having the vast majority of your general ed done before you can transfer, and this is just the bare minimum of transferring. Obviously, if you transfer, get that degree, you'll have everything within here complete. Some little updates here regarding COVID information and classes, basically saying that you could actually apply, it looks like, and you could actually apply without some of these categories complete, but then you'd have to complete them for second semester. So if you really wanted to transfer right away, you definitely could do that and take that into consideration. And then department comments here is going to relate to things that Sac State wants specifically. So they want their lab taken concurrently or following the lectures. So in other words, you can't take the lab first. Makes sense. Anthropology majors must complete a statistics course in addition to lower major requirements. So that's something definitely to look into when adjusting schedules, is that eventually that Math 12 class or Stat 1, depending on where you take it from, is going to be needed eventually. Associate's degree to transfer is compatible with the BA, which, judging by what we found out earlier in the course, most of those classes matched up perfectly. They may select a concentration, archaeology, cultural language society, or general anthropology, which we're able to find on Sac State's degree. So a lot of this stuff is relatively repetitive on what we found, but the ability to go in and just search it with a few clicks instead of browsing through the website is definitely a great asset or benefit of using the site. But in my opinion, it should not be the end-all be-all. You should definitely look into both the degree at your first school and the degree you plan to transfer to. Likely contact both departments, both the department at your community college, department at your CSU, UC, private institution. And then, once the information starts to line up where all of them say you need to take a stat class, then definitely take a stat class. But this is just one more tool in a large variety of them that's definitely could help you figure out how to manage your schedules, how to make them, and how to graduate on time.